All right, are you ready? I'm ready. This is going to be awesome. I'm so stoked for this. Distinguished guests, family, friends, and shipmates, welcome to the retirement ceremony of Aviation Boatswain's Main Handler, second class, Petty Officer Michael Joseph Little. I am Captain Brett Gray, your Master of Ceremonies. Today we gather to honor and celebrate Petty Officer Little's rewarding naval career, marking the end of a significant chapter in his life and in service to our nation. The ceremony is our nation's tribute to his years of faithful and honorable service. It also recognizes his family's unwavering support and sacrifices, acknowledging the challenges and triumphs shared during their Navy journey. You will witness a traditional naval ceremony, a reflection of our evolving Navy's heritage both at sea and ashore. We will hear commendations, present gifts, and listen to Petty Officer Little's final remarks, which will be short and funny. Right? Short and funny. That's the key for everything here. There he is. The ceremony culminates with his formal request to go ashore, symbolizing the conclusion of 18 years of distinguished service. Please feel free to capture memories with pictures or videos throughout the ceremony. And if that means that you have to move a little bit to get a picture, please feel free to do that. This is about memories, and it's about Mike, and it's about everything that we stand for as a nation. So please feel free to get that. Military guests will please cover for the arrival of the official party. ABH2 Little, this is your day. Are you ready?
No!
Let's try it again. Are you ready?
Let's do it!
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party. This will be followed by the presentation of the colors, the playing of our national anthem, and the invocation. We kindly request your participation in these honored traditions as we commence our ceremony. Petty Officer, second class, United States Navy arriving. Master Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, arriving. Lieutenant, United States Navy Reserve, arriving. Lieutenant, United States Navy, arriving. Color guard, parade the colors.
Mark time! Mark! Mark! Mark!
Color guard, post the colors.
Forward. March. 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 Ready. Halt.
Our invocation will now be delivered by Lieutenant David Watts.
Let us pray. Let us pray. Almighty and everlasting God, we come into your presence this day with thanksgiving and joy as we honor the 18 years of distinguished and faithful service of Aviation Bosun's Mate Second Class Michael J. Little. From among your people, you call a select few to be warriors for their nations. And for 18 years and more, you have sustained Michael through times of peace and times of war, in times of plenty and times of want, in times of health and in times of injury. You surrounded him with dear shipmates and friends and comforted him when his friends succumbed to their mortal injuries. We honor those now who are not with us this day with a moment of silence. May you continue to bless Michael and those like him who are a voice to and for veterans who suffer in silence. May you continue to raise up mighty warriors who justly serve their country to advance the common good for all. And may you bless us here this day as we raise our voice with Moses when he looked back on his life of service with these words from Psalm 90. Let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands upon us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Amen.
Bosun, retire to side boys.
Those are some good-looking side boys.
Will the guests please be seated, and military guests, please feel free to uncover. Well, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome today's Acting Commanding Officer, Lieutenant Luis Martinez, Lieutenant David Watts, Fleet Master Chief Paul Kingsbury, Master Chief Yanez, as well as all family, friends, and shipmates of Petty Officer Michael Joseph Little. We gather here today to celebrate and honor the retirement of Petty Officer Little, marking a significant milestone in his distinguished career. So I'm going to exercise a little executive privilege before we get into this, okay?
That's why I picked you, buddy.
Yeah. So Mike and I have shared many a creative opportunity to discuss how to shift trajectories for the United States Navy in favor of the sailors, right? We met before I retired. He showed up in the office of my then boss, Vice Admiral Braun, and basically said, hey, I've got some really great ideas on how to fix the Navy, and it's really broken. And I'm like, cool, let's talk. So, talk about big, broad-reaching ideas that absolutely exhibit the big, broad-reaching heart of this man that's sitting before us.
I don't think your counterpart had that same opinion.
No, my deputy did not. He was less plus, let's say. But it's been, after that, we worked together in some work on some nonprofit organizations, AUSN, and some other stuff in support of sailors and enlisted members throughout the DoD. That was just awesome. And we've just been in touch the entire way through, and it's pretty cool. It's not, so for me, I'm not the guy that stays in touch with people. I'm not. And there's something about Mike that has just knit our hearts together, and I think it's an awesome thing. Thank you for this privilege of standing here and doing this. Yeah. First time didn't stick. All right, I'd like to now invite Lieutenant Martinez, MS Chief Johnins, to step forward for the formal presentations. And obviously Mike too. So down forward if you would, please. All right, Lieutenant Martinez and Master Chief Johnins will now present ABH2 Little with his official retirement letter. From Commander, Navy Personnel Command, Purse 954 to Michael J. Little, USN. Subject, permanent disability retired list in accordance with the provisions of Title 10 U.S. Code Section 1210. The Secretary of the Navy has determined that your disability for which you were placed on the temporary disability list has stabilized, and that your disability is now permanent and rated at 100% disabling. Accordingly, you will be placed on the permanent disabled retired list by reason of permanent physical disability effective 12 November 2015 in the grade of E5. Your disability has been incurred due to combat zone. Signed, J.D. Henderson, Division Director, Force 95, by direction Rear Admiral Michael W. Bays, Deputy Chief of Navy Personnel Commander, Navy Personnel Command.
Took me 13 years to get that one.
Lieutenant Martinez and Master Chief Johnins will now present Petty Officer Little with the Navy Retirement Certificate. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who see these presents, greetings. Petty Officer 2nd Class Michael Joseph Little, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Navy, presented on behalf of the Department of the United States Navy. Signed, Captain Rodney Moss, United States Navy. Copies of the retirement certificate have also been prepared for Petty Officer Little's father and uncle. Petty Officer Little is also being honored with letters of congratulations, citations, and proclamations from notable figures, including President Bill Clinton, President George W. Bush, President Donald Trump, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb, U.S. Senators Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin, Illinois State Senator Terry Bryant, State Representative Dave Severin, Hamilton County Clerk Heather Bauman, and Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy Jim Honea, among others. These acknowledgments, a lot of them, these acknowledgments also include letters from various organizations to which he belongs. Thanks, Mike. I now ask Chief Warrant Officer Kelly Longstreet to kindly escort Mr. and Mrs. John Little to the front. Certificate of Appreciation for Mr. and Mrs. Little. By the authority vested in me, it is with great honor and respect that I extend the profound gratitude of the United States Navy. your enduring strength and steadfast support of your son, Petty Officer Second Class Michael Joseph Little, during his honorable service to his country, have been a cornerstone of his success and our nation's security. The unwavering support and unconditional love you provided to Michael were invaluable during his times of service, which contributed to the legacy of a fortified nation and a world at peace. The sacrifices made and the distances endured reflect the depth of your commitment not only to Michael, but also to the ideals and mission of the United States Navy. As Michael defended the freedoms we cherish, you stood as pillars of resilience and devotion, ensuring the continuance of a nurturing and secure home front. Your contributions have been a testament to the spirit of family and country, and for this we are eternally grateful. In recognition of your sacrifices and your noble support of Michael and the broader Navy family, we present this certificate to you, given this 10th day of February in the year of our Lord, 2024. Signed, Rodney Moss, Captain, Senior Aviation Boatswain's Mate. In addition, Captain Ross has graciously signed letters of appreciation for Petty Officer Little's family members, acknowledging their support throughout their career. These letters are addressed to his mother, Debbie Burlingham, his aunts and uncles, Jim and Juanita Little, Jeff and Lana Shaperjohn, and Jeannie Powell, his brother, Justin Little, and his cousin, Jessica Little. CWO Launch Team, please escort William and Mary Little to the front. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Navy to all who see these presents. Greetings to William and Mary Little. By the authority vested in me, it is with immense pride and heartfelt warmth that I express the United States Navy's sincere appreciation for the support you have provided your father, Petty Officer Second Class Michael Joseph Little, during his esteemed service to our nation. Your understanding, patience, and encouragement have been a source of enduring strength and motivation for Michael. The sacrifices and adjustments you have made during his periods of duty, often accepting the absence of your father with bravery and grace, are a testament to your character and the supportive family to which you belong. The love and pride you hold for your father mirror the commitment and honor he has shown to his country. This unspoken bond of mutual respect and admiration between a father and his son and daughter strengthens the very fabric of our military community. For your courage and steadfastness and for the joy and inspiration you provide to your father, we honor you with this certificate. Given this 10th day of February in the year of our Lord 2024, signed, Rodney Moss, Captain, Senior Aviation Boatswain's Mate. CWO2 Launch Street, please escort Chief Petty Officer Elizabeth Little to the front. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. To Elizabeth Little, by the authority vested in me, it is with profound respect and deep admiration that I express the United States Navy's gratitude to you. Not only have you been a steadfast partner to Petty Officer Second Class Michael Joseph Little, but you have also served alongside him with distinction and honor in the armed forces. Your dual commitment to your family and country exemplifies the highest ideals of service and sacrifice. Together you have navigated the challenges of military life, supporting one another and upholding the duties entrusted to you with unwavering courage and dedication. The shared journey of your service has strengthened the bonds of your partnership and has been an inspiration to those who serve with you. Your unique perspective as both a spouse and a comrade in arms has provided an immeasurable source of support and strength to Michael. In honor of your personal sacrifices, your dedicated service, and the exceptional support you have provided as a member of the United States Navy, we present this certificate to you with the highest esteem and appreciation. Given this 10th day of February in the year of our Lord 2024, signed, Rodney Moss, Captain, Senior Aviation Bosun's Mate. Thank you, Lieutenant Martinez and Master Chief Hams. ABH2 Little will now present families to his flowers, or flowers to his families, depending on how you want to know.
Over here. Thanks for recording this. I'll give this to him.
Okay. Fine. It's fine.
It is now my great pleasure. I've heard him speak before, and I'm not saying it because Mike typed it. It is my great pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, retired Fleet Master Chief Paul Kingsbury. Paul A. Kingsbury served over 31 years in the U.S. Navy, culminating in his selection as the Fleet Master Chief for U.S. Fleet Forces Command. He's the author of the Chief Petty Officer's Guide, 2nd edition, the Petty Officer's Guide, and the most recent edition of the Blue Jackets Manual, as well as several published articles in military journals. He currently works for the Blue Cross Blue Shield and was previously employed by the U.S. Naval Institute as the co-director of outreach. Paul, Michael, and Elizabeth all served together on board the USS Ronald Reagan, CVN 76, as Plankton. 20 years ago this year. And Michael and Paul have worked together on numerous professional projects following Paul's retirement from the Navy. Fleet Kingsbury.
All right, well, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? That's not good. I mean, come on, we're not at a funeral here. This is a celebration. So, there we go. Yeah, we might be old. We're not dead yet. So, Mike doesn't look at a year over, 62 yet at this point. So, but, yeah, so welcome, and thanks, Mike, for this opportunity. Short fuse, but I'll take it anytime I get. So, in the last time I did a speech, it was in the same hangar. It was for a CPO pinning ceremony, so there's something about this place that keeps drawing me back. So there's a bunch of stuff out there. Mike's got a program of things. He's going to speak a lot at the end, so I want to just try to highlight a lot of stuff he's done, a lot of things he continues to do in about 5 to 7 minutes, if that. But if you're attending, you know Mike Little, I expect, in some capacity. You've worked with him, you're a family member, you've experienced what he brings. Brent already referenced some of those things already, but I'm hoping when I get my experience, and I think it's gonna resonate in the things that come out to me that make this man so impressive. And it's hard to summarize the work he's done and he continues to do. I know we've talked about he's closing off a chapter. Well, he's like 2 or 3 chapters ahead of his Navy chapter, right? So he's already out there doing it. So this kind of retirement thing is a bit different how we're closing this out. We're going it back and dusting off and finishing off that chapter. So as a guy that writes books, it's cool to be a part of this. And again, the program offers a great career interview or overview. I'm going to respond back to that a little bit. There's a little bit of roasting in this as well. But also, whenever you go to a retirement or something like this, there's leadership learning that gets done, right? So we can talk about leadership development courses and LinkedIn and getting on YouTube and all that stuff, but the lessons you learn the most are watching people like Mike Little, watching how they operate, watch how they use management skills, how they develop communication skills and use them, and how they ultimately yield real influence to get great results. So I've got them distilled down to, I'm not a big fan of leadership mantras, but I do like frameworks. So, we do things in 3s or 4s. So I got 4 Ps, I think, that capture Mike Little to the extent that we can. So the first one is pay grade, but in Mike Little's world and mine, pay grade doesn't define and limit the influence you can wield. Okay? So I'm going to start this one off, how I met Mike Little. I've been asked that. How'd you come across Mike? I didn't know Mike Little under Ronald Reagan. We probably crossed the child line, if that. You know what I mean? I didn't know Liz personally at that point, but we served there together. Fast forward probably 16 years later, I was at a U.S. Naval Institute function up in D.C. I was getting presented an award for an essay contest that I placed in. And they did a pre-event social, went up there, kind of working the room, walking around. And a lot of those events, Naval Institute drew either an officer or primarily officers or civilians. And frankly, at events like that, you don't see a big enlisted audience or attendees, and that's okay. But as I walked around the room, I looked over, I saw him probably in that same suit. I know he had the same shoes anywhere, so. But I saw the enlisted aviation warfare and enlisted service warfare pins. So I was in uniform. I always made it a point to go up and enlisted sailors in those because, number one, I knew they weren't comfortable in that space, and most of the time people were engaging them, and they didn't know, what am I supposed to do here? So I walk over, I'm going to go through the whole conversation, we do introductions, but that conversation ends in about 15 minutes with, hey, after this you want to go meet some congressmen. And I'm like, okay, who's this dude, right? And he had given me the whole kind of background of his kind of medical thing that he was going through, which is another thing that you don't get a lot of exposure to on active duty. There's a group of sailors that are going through this process. They don't get a lot of attention, don't get a lot of advocacy, but I learned a bit. Short to Mike Little, where were we? What's it called, the Republican National Club? Bam! I'm shaking the hands of congressmen, right? So who normally thinks a second-class petty officer is going to make that kind of connection, right? The normal mental models about service, especially militaries and organizational structures, is you got to be a 3 or 4 star to be able to wield that influence and make those connections. That spoke volumes to what he could do, and that's where our relationship started. I've learned a tremendous amount. So I think he understands that, but he doesn't let that. Mike knows that your value and your worth to an organization is not based on what's on your collar device or your pay grade. It's based on your influence, your character, your competence, how you develop and leverage networks, how you give back and forth. He's an honorary Chief Petty Officer in the Coast Guard for a reason. One of the things Chief Petty Officers know, and RD knows this, that is a connection power base. It's an organization that comes together as a resource to help each individual Chief Petty Officer be successful. You give to it, but then there's going to be times when you're going to have to give back to it. And Mike Little does that, and that was recognized for his service. So he understands the value of networks and power bases, and that's why he was successful when people could have said things contrary to that. With that said, don't get me wrong, Mike definitely values, one thing he values is honorifics and positional stuff. So open up that program and look at that program. I mean, he's like, president of this, the executive director of this, he's a Kentucky colonel, he's a this, he's a that. I mean, he's in everything. Look, everything on his chest, he loves all that kind of swag and things. He's probably collected it. He's probably got an I love me wall or a room or probably more, right, Liz? It's going to turn into an I love me house probably soon, right? But he's probably like a 10th level hullabaloo in like Dungeons and Dragons, and I'd love to see his Pokemon card collection and everything else. But I mean, continue to do that. Another thing. He doesn't care who you are. He is not afraid to speak up, right? That is another hallmark of a true leader. You know how to do it. You should know how to package it, right? You can't deliver that just in any way you want to. But this is an asset you want, right? Once he makes a connection, I can't tell you how many times he's called me and or after a meeting, I'll encourage him on text too. He'll text me, he'll be at an event, he's like, I want to ask a question. All right, here's a question you should ask. I'll text him, bam, he goes out there. Next step to be like, I think I just pissed off this Lee Mashie, right? Or a conversation afterwards. I think I'm going to be fired from this job after this. I'm like, you're not going to be fired, you just did it. But he speaks truth to power, and that has made him a tremendous force as well. And those of you who know the work he's done, advocating for Coast Guard pay and the other things, that is one reason he's so successful. And he's also a member of boards, right? So not just the ones that he's involved with, he's a member of my advisory board at Blue Cross Blue Shield. So when that thing first started out, it consisted of panels of retired 3- and 4-star flag officers and senior enlisted leaders. I brought him on, right? He's like, I can be on your board. I'm like, yes, because you bring a perspective, number one, as a veteran, number two, as a male spouse, 3, as a younger person to that board, right? So again, he didn't think that he met that model. Again, I don't care what your pay grade is. I mean, the reach he had, the skills he had, that's why he's on that board that you would expect. So he uses those to gain access to influential leaders. And again, that's all a testament to his professional influence. So the second P, I think you'll agree with, passion. Okay? If Mike goes after something, he goes after it, right? So passion is defined, I do this all the time. So words, we say it, but I like to kind of words I mean define. Passion is defined as intense emotion which compels your action. Okay? So without it, you're going to do things half-assed or you're not going to do them at all, right? You got to feel that first, and the next P will link to this. But anyone who knows that, when those emotions are triggered, he's on it, right? The attacks, that was evident when he went on Champion the Hill to go after Coast Guard pay. That's evident in his advocacy work he does in the organizations he served on and continues to serve on. So passion is not just in the work he does professionally. I know he's doing it in his local community. He has passion for that. He has passion for the service, not just the Navy, the Coast Guard. He has passion for veterans, family members, and his own family. And that all comes out across the spectrum of communication that he pushes out. He's a passionate guy, and when he finds something, you want that passion on your team. Number 3, he's principled. Okay? So you take passion and you link it with principles. So what is a principle? A principle is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as your foundation for a system of belief or behavior for a chain of reasoning. It all starts with value and belief systems, right? I'm sure you taught him these words I'm talking. This starts at home. This starts with upbringing. This starts with kind of the things you read and you're shaped as a young person. But it grows. You kind of take internalized principles like core values of the Navy, which I knew you took on. Those things then shape your attitude, and once you got that attitude set, couple it with passion, everything follows in how your behavior works and how you engage to do that. Mike is a very principled person. I know he's got a strong set of personal core values and professional core values that serve as a bedrock for his focus. Words that come to mind for me: integrity, courage, transparency, honesty, and loyalty. I've seen people that break those principles, right? And he'll give you a chance, right? He'll give you feedback. He'll come back. He'll try to correct that. But once you break that bond of one of those, you've kind of cut it with Mike, right? So I've seen that, so I have to appreciate that. He will give you a second chance, but if you don't take advantage of that feedback he gives you, there's an intolerance he has for mediocrity, and I think that's another hallmark for successful leaders and managers, right? You just don't settle for less, right? You build strong teams, you elevate them to the game you want to play, and then usually those that can't or are unwilling to come along get cut by, and I think that's another part of what makes Mike so successful. And then the 4th P, I think, is persistence. So you can have passion, right? You can have principles, you can be driving to action, but the world he operates in and the world I saw as a fleet master chief, when you're going after big stuff, when you're taking on big leaders and big organizations and you're up against other power structures, that stuff, you don't just say make it happen and it happens. It takes grit, it takes time, and it takes persistence. Persistence is defined as firm or obstinate continuance in a course of action despite difficulty or opposition. So this is evidence in his multi-year journey to secure this medical retirement and ultimately culminates in his retirement today, to his efforts advocating for a multitude of causes in D.C. So Mike has definitely demonstrated continuance in the face of difficulty. I learned, like I said, some of the most rewarding and the hardest things or the most needed things to get done don't come easily. They take years, especially when it comes to policy and politics, but you have to persevere. Once Mike's got that objective defined, he links his passion, he gets his coalitions going, he drives at it. He crashes in that line knowing, I know he knows, sometimes I'm going to get knocked back. Sometimes I'm going to take a sack. Sometimes I'm going to crash in that line of policy or advocacy. I'm going to gain an inch or two, and that's all I can get. But with persistence, that opposing line is going to wear down, right? You're going to keep going, and eventually the gaps are open. You're going to break through, and you're going to get the results you want. And we've seen that time and time with Mike and the work he's done. So I think those are 4 Ps that capture Mike. You can feel free to disagree or add your others afterwards. But they definitely resonate with me as a colleague and a friend of Mike. So Mike, thanks again for the privilege and the opportunity to offer remarks on your behalf. Congratulations to you, Liz, and the kids. I see you dropped one down, but that's okay. This journey's yours. Congratulations to you. Thanks for your support of Mike, right? I know it's not easy, right? You know, not either way. So you guys are kind of doing great stuff together. So, and again, I normally talk about next chapters in life, but you're on to great chapters. I look forward to writing some of those with you. And congratulations. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great day. Oh, yeah, one other thing. So Mike likes honorifics. So I finally got you a signed copy of this edition of the Blue Jackets manual. So as I'm going to go off with that.
Learn something from that book.
I could. I've read it. Not that edition. Senior Chief Nick McGowan, accompanied by the U.S. Coast Guard Chief Petty Officers, will now share a few words and read the U.S. Coast Guard's meaning of the anchor.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right. Definitely a little different for myself, being in the Coast Guard and seeing a little different traditions, but a lot of the same things we kind of do as well. But trying to go off of what Master Chief was saying, Mike, it's been a fantastic thing getting to know you, being present at K-May, seeing you become an honorary chief, coming into our mess. Was a pretty phenomenal experience for me to, one, observe and see somebody that is so passionate about everything that Navy and Coast Guard, and be able to share the mess with you really means a lot. So if you come down, I'll present you with our cover. Now Liz and I will read the meaning of the anchor. The anchor is an emblem of the rank of Chief Petty Officer of the United States Coast Guard. The anchor is fouled and has a shield superimposed on its shank. To the novice, there is a meant to identify the Chief Petty Officer. To a chief, the chain, shield, and anchor has a much deeper meaning. The anchor is emblematic of a chief. If it represents stability and security. It reminds a chief of the responsibility they have to keep those they serve safe from harm and to maintain the finest traditions of the Coast Guard. The historical significance of the shield dates back to the Revenue Cutter Service. Congress wanted the cutters to be distinguished from other vessels by a unique ensign. On that ensign, created in 1799 and others since, the shield is a distinctive part of the design. The 13 stars, 13 stripes represent the 13 original colonies.
The chain is symbolic of flexibility and strength. To remind a chief that the chain of life is forged day by day, link by link. May it be forged with character and virtue and the fires of adversity that will be faced in the course of a career. It also stands for the reliance upon one chief upon another to get the job done, and that every chief shall endeavor not to be the weak link in the chain. Lastly, the chain fouled around the anchor is the sailor's disgrace, to remind a chief that there are many, maybe times, when there are circumstances beyond their control in the performance of duty, yet a chief must still complete the task. It's in these times that humility and fortitude learned ages ago at initiation or on bitter experience are brought to bear. And now, all Coast Guard members would please rise and join us in singing the Coast Guard service song, Semper Paratus.
From Aztec shore to Arctic zone to Europe and Far East. Ships in times of war and peace.
And never have we struck again in spite of foeman's might, who cheer our crews and cheer again for showing how to fight. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling gale, how shall our purpose be? Semper Paratus is our guide, our fame, our glory too. To fight, to save, or fight and die. I, Coast Guard, we are for you.
Thank you, Chiefs. Before we move on to the next part, I need to put all of the edges at ease. We've got a lot of aviation bosun mates here, and I need to point something out, which is that it doesn't matter if the prop's spinning or not. We don't walk through a prop arc because if you never, here's the thing, if you never walk through a prop arc, you'll never get dead by getting hit by a spinning prop. So if you're going to walk in that direction, please feel free to walk down and around the front or around the back of the airplane, but don't walk through the prop arc. Master Chief, thanks for pointing that out. And everybody else can now. If you've ever been on a flight deck, you know exactly how everybody's feeling right now. Yeah, so, all right. In Navy tradition, retiring personnel are honored with a shadow box, showcasing a chronological record of their duty stations, ribbons, and awards. Today, on behalf of your shipmates, including those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, we proudly present to you the United States National Ensign. This flag, which you have devotedly served and valiantly defended, is a symbol of our unity, strength, and national purpose. Accept it as a testament to your service, and know that the sailors you've trained and inspired will continue to uphold its values with pride.
The flag.
Give it to the Army, I can trust it.
Yeah, see? Who said the Army's not trainable?
I mean, I'm Air Force. We like to go through props, right? So.
Yeah. We wish you fair winds and following seas. Now, Lieutenant Commander retired Bill Maslanka and Tech Sergeant Chris Gimbert will present ABH2 Little with a flag flown, and Colonel King with a flag flown during his service in Iraq and Afghanistan. Lieutenant Commander Maslanka was his executive officer in Iraq, and Tech Sergeant Gimbert, a fellow shipmate in Afghanistan.
Colonel King was my commanding colonel for my unit in Iraq as well. In charge of the entire facility.
John? Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Warrant Officers from the U.S. Coast Guard Chief Warrant Officers Association, where Petty Officer Little currently serves as the National Executive Director and was recently honorarily promoted to Chief Warrant Officer 4, will now present a special gesture. Instead of presenting ABH2 Little with his shadow box, at his request, they will present shadow boxes to William and Mary as keepsakes of their father's distinguished service.
Okay.
There. Like these.
You just take one of them, just grab it.
Oh, okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming ABH2 Michael Little to the podium for his short and humorous remarks. They gave me tissues. I don't think I need them yet. All right. Before I start, I just want to say that about 2 years ago, we did this whole thing all over again, and it was on Zoom, and it was a dining out, and it was amazing, and I had an opportunity to make remarks, and I wrote this speech for it way back then, and I just didn't want to give it to him. I didn't want to give it because it was a joke then, and it was a fun night, and it was great, but this was the goal, right? I wanted to be here, and I wanted to give this speech. So I'm gonna do it. And I wrote it, and it's a little long, and I apologize, but I got a lot of things I want to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed VIPs and dignitaries, friends, family, and guests, working on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier teaches you a lot. For instance, I learned that jet fuel isn't just an energy drink substitute for those early mornings, but it also sends an aircraft off the flight deck at speeds of up to 170 miles per hour. And that's a joke. Don't drink JP5 in the morning. But if you do find yourself in flight deck control, stay the heck away from a coffee pot because you don't know what they're going to put in that thing. Right, Brett? Yeah. Yeah. All right. First, I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to some people. Captain Anderson, I saw you in the back here. Thank you very much for being here today. Captain Jones, R.D. Jones, thank you very much for being here today. Colonel King, thank you very much for being here today. Sir, we went through hell together, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. I want to also recognize Captain Rodney Moss, who can't be with us today. Unfortunately, his brother passed away, and I'd like to just take a moment of silence for his mother. I must also express my deepest gratitude to the pillars of my life, my parents, John and Ann, my in-laws, Connie Loretzis, Erica, and my niece and nephew, Kennedy and Clayton. Each of you have been beacons of support and love to me, and I can't thank you enough. More importantly, I owe special acknowledgement to the most important people in my life. My incredible wife, Elizabeth. My guiding star, the Admiral, William. I love you, man. To the Commodore, my anchor, Mary Isabel, who I think is more willing to test my patience than an E2 or a cod catching a 1-mile in the middle of a turbulent sea. And if you're an AB, you know what that is, right? But Mary, I love you, and every day with you is an adventure, so thank you.
To my fellow Chief Petty Officers and Chief Warrant Officers, especially the current National President, Chris Westerdahl, and my fellow ABs, your camaraderie, guidance, and dedication have been a source of inspiration these past 21 years. In fact, they say every sailor has two families, the one they're born with and the one they sail with. And as I look around today, I realize my sailing family might just be crazier than my actual family, and that's saying something. So thank you all for all of your support. There were moments of doubt and times when the path to this day seemed uncertain, yet it was your belief in me that kept me steadfast. You all are the reasons that I never gave up, even when many believed that this day would never come, and in fact, many begged me and pleaded me to just give up my fight. Your support has been my anchor, and for that, I am eternally grateful. On a more serious note, I have to dedicate today to some people who are no longer with us, yet in their own ways have been influential in my life and career. Specialist 4, Robert Burlingame, my grandfather, who specifically instilled in me the importance of military service. My grandfather, Petty Officer Donald Pillow, a man whose love for the Navy I inherited and who has been one of the most influential figures in my life. My grandfather, Corporal Dennis Albee, who taught me the importance of truth and to never break that. My grandmother, Mary Little, a true Rosie the Riveter during World War II. Her role in my upbringing has shaped me in more ways than I can express. I know I'm getting tissues.
I miss her a lot. Each of these remarkable individuals have left an indelible mark on my life, and today, as I close this chapter, I carry their legacy with me into the future. Okay, that part's over, so I should be good. Sorry, alright. Shipmates, as I stand here today, I'm overwhelmed with a flood of memories from my career in the Navy. Each day is vivid as if it were just yesterday. One moment that will forever be etched in my memory is my first observation of flight deck operations aboard the USS Ronald Reagan. I remember ABH2 Ron Myers guiding me onto the deck, the awe-inspiring sight of an F-14 thundering over the stern, and the meticulous orchestration of the flight deck crew. It was in that instant that I witnessed Fly 1 PO Ricky Furlong's final salute to the pilot that I knew I was exactly where I was meant to be, forever in love with naval aviation. The sensations of service are indelibly marked in my mind. The enveloping darkness of the ocean at night and the intense blue of the sea during the day. The awe-inspiring sunsets and sunrises, and even the fury of monsoons during flight deck operations. And oh my God, were they furious. I recall the contrast of sailing alongside a storm. One side bathed in sunlight and the other engulfed in the most amazing rain you've ever seen, and I knew I was just going to get soaked by it. And that was all right, because I enjoyed it. I experienced the extremes of heat and cold, the sound of jet blasts and helicopter rotors, which I can hear in the distance right now, and the distinctive smell of JP5. Oh, the beloved JP5. And that exhaust, the raw power of a CH-53, right, Roger? So loud and so powerful, it's crazy. Let's do it. Ready to do it again?
No.
Those are experiences that will define my time in the Navy forever. Supporting war efforts in the Middle East with Masalanka and Colonel King. Those are the moments of pride and profound responsibility that I'll carry with me forever. But amidst these vivid recollections of duty and dedication, the most significant memory that I'm going to lose it. The most significant memory is the day that I met the love of my life. It was an ordinary day on the shipyards, but it became an extraordinary day when I saw her for the first time. Her smile, her laughter, the unmistakable scent of her perfume just captivated me. Fate had its play, and when she was assigned to work in my work center, it just wasn't the right time then. But fast forward a few years and a couple of long drives to Buffalo, New York, the coldest snow you've ever seen. 11 years of marriage later, she remains the most wonderful gift the Navy's ever given me. I love you. Thank you. To say the Navy has provided me with the best and fondest memory is an understatement. It's not just a career, it's been a journey of profound experiences, life lessons, and the most meaningful relationships. While my career in naval aviation was marked by incredible experiences, my service also took me through darker, more challenging times, particularly during my tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Leadership was a role I embraced, thanks to the skills honed as an aviation bosun mate. Yet the reality of detainee operations was a stark contrast to the skies of naval aviation. Facing enemies in high security prisons where every day brought threats to our lives was an ordeal that tested the limits of resilience and courage. Despite returning from these deployments highly decorated and accomplished, it was the ensuing battle with PTSD that proved to be the most formidable challenge of my life. The struggle began towards the end of my tour in Iraq and intensified after Afghanistan. It led to a harrowing period where my commitment and integrity were unfairly questioned, and I faced the prospect of a dishonorable discharge. In these moments of uncertainty, it was the intervention of Captain Ireland and the legal expertise of Captain Jason Golden that set my path straight once again. But the journey was far over. Recognizing and accepting the reality of my severe PTSD was a turning point. Yet it was met with unjust decision by the Physical Evaluation Board, leaving me in a state of limbo within the Navy. For 13 years, I tirelessly fought for recognition and justice, never losing faith in the institution I served. And finally, 3 years ago, with the unwavering support of Lieutenant Colonel Daniela Szymanski and her assistant, Elise Peterson, and one hell of a letter from Colonel King and Lieutenant Commander Masalanka, the Navy acknowledged the oversight. They issued me a formal apology, and they granted me this retirement that I rightfully deserved. Thank you. Thank you. Throughout this prolonged battle, my support for the Navy never wavered. My belief in the Navy's ability to ultimately do right by its sailors was unshakable. This journey, with its highs and lows, has been a testament to the values of perseverance, integrity, and dedication. Values that the Navy and my family instilled in me from the very beginning of my career. As I reflect on the people who have significantly influenced my journey in the Navy, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for a few exceptional leaders and mentors. First, Commander Joe Amper, an embodiment of compassionate leadership. He taught me that true leadership transcends rank and status. Commander Amper worked alongside us, whether it was cleaning the ship, and I'm talking that man would clean a toilet, he didn't care. He would do it. He would do anything that he wanted us to do, and I loved him for it. Treating everyone with equal respect was his thing. His influence led me to join the Masonic Lodge, which opened up a path to nonprofit work and my current role as the executive director of the CWOA. So Commander Amper, you can't be here today, but I look forward to celebrating with you in July. Command Master Chief Bernie Dizon, old Bernie, aboard the USS Tarawa. He pushed me to excel beyond my limits. He instilled in me the value of understanding not just my role, but those around me. This holistic approach to leadership and learning has been a guiding principle in both my naval and civilian careers. And Commander Wayne Sergio. Wayne, I know you're on Facebook there, and you can't be with us because you're in Guam, but you were a brand new chief when I met you. You emphasized the importance of continuous learning and education. Your advocacy for knowledge beyond the confines of our immediate roles inspired me to pursue higher education, which led to multiple accomplishments and career advancements, just like the Fleet Master Chief talked about before. But it wasn't just them. It was all of you. All of you. From Nora Matus to Manny to the Smith family. All of you here. You all were part of this. I give you my profound thanks. Your lessons, your support, your guidance, your love of my family, it shaped me into the person that I am today. So thank you. Thank you all very much. To my wife Elizabeth. I'm gonna cry again. Words cannot capture the depth of my gratitude and love for you. From the moment we met in the shipyards, you have been my rock, my guiding light through every storm. Your support during my struggles with PTSD, your unwavering belief in me during the challenges with my retirement, and your constant love and encouragement have been my anchor. You have been more than a partner. You have been a source of strength, hope, and happiness. Elizabeth, you are the unsung hero of my Navy journey. And I am eternally grateful for every sacrifice, every smile, and every moment of support you've given me. My children, it hasn't always been easy, and I'm sorry, but thank you for being my life's greatest blessing. I am immensely proud of having served aboard the largest aircraft carriers in the world, becoming qualified as an aircraft carrier on both carrier and amphibious assault ship. This achievement, both in active duty and the reserve, symbolizes not just my skill, but a deep commitment to naval excellence. Serving in both theaters of Iraq and Afghanistan was an honor of the highest order. Rising from Sergeant of the Guard in Iraq to Battle Captain in Afghanistan, a role typically held by junior Army officers, was a testament to the versatility and capability inherent of an aviation boatswain mate. This experience proved that with determination, we can transcend traditional roles and excel in unexpected ways. To the junior sailors here today, I tell you, never let your rank define you. Continue to get as qualified and educated as you can. And I mean that to all of you that are part of this ceremony today. Among my many accolades, being made an honorary Chief Petty Officer and receiving the honorary rank of CW04 hold a special place in my heart. These honors fulfill the dream and bridge the gap created by my naval career's premature end. Thanks for the gracious recognition by the members of the Coast Guard. The Navy was a crucible that transformed a young man unsure of his path into someone with direction, purpose, and values. The lessons learned and the ethos instilled have been the foundation of my life since joining in 2003. They are values I strive to and will continue to pass on to my children and uphold in my post-naval professional endeavors. While awards and ranks are tangible acknowledgments, the hope that I have made an impact on the lives of the sailors and individuals I've encountered is what gives me my service's deepest meaning. It's with my earnest hope that somewhere, someone remembers ABH2 Little, not just for what I achieved, but for the kindness and support I endeavored to provide in their time of need. If my journey has helped even one person find their way or stay the course, then every effort and sacrifice has been worth it. Reflecting on what serving in the Navy has meant to me, I am drawn to the core values that have become the cornerstone of my life: honor, courage, and commitment. These are not just words, they are guiding principles that have shaped my character and defined my actions in and out of uniform. The Navy, more than an institution, has been a transformative journey for me. It instilled in me the sense of honor, a steadfast commitment to integrity and ethical conduct. The value has underpinned every decision and action in my life, ensuring that I carry myself with dignity and respect for others, no matter their circumstances. Courage, learned in the face of adversity and danger, has been a driving force. It's not just physical bravery in the line of duty, but also the moral courage to stand up for what is right, to advocate for those who don't have a voice, and to face challenges head on, no matter how daunting they may seem. Commitment, a deep-seated dedication to my duties, responsibilities, and to the people I served with, has been a constant. This unyielding dedication translated into a relentless pursuit of excellence in every task and a loyalty that extends beyond the call of duty. These values, ingrained during my time in the Navy and with the Coast Guard, have permeated every aspect of my life. They have guided my actions as a leader, a mentor, a colleague, and a family man. They have been my compass in times of uncertainty and my anchor in times of turmoil. The Navy was more than a career. It was a catalyst for growth, a builder of character, and a shaper of destiny. It provided a foundation of values that I will carry forward into the next chapter of my life, serving as a beacon to guide my way. As I stand at the threshold of my career, a new chapter beyond my naval career, I carry with me not just memories, but a resolve forged in the struggles and triumphs of my service. The journey to this day has been one of perseverance and advocacy, not just for myself, but for my family, my fellow sailors. In the future, I am committed to ensuring that no sailor has to endure the fight I face for a dignified end to their career. The lessons I have learned, the challenges I have overcome, have instilled in me a deep sense of duty to advocate for those who serve. My goal is to work tirelessly to change outdated policies and advocate for those who serve. I stand to be a steadfast advocate for sailors, ensuring they receive the respect and benefits they rightfully deserve. As I move forward, my dedication to this cause will never waver. So as long as I have breath in my body, I will stand for my shipmates. I will stand for all of you. I will channel the values of honor, courage, and commitment into this new mission, to be a voice for change and a guardian for the rights and well-being of my fellow sailors. To my shipmates, know that my support for you is unwavering. My dedication to our shared cause is resolute, and my journey in service to you is far from over. As I stand here at the culmination of this significant chapter of my life, my heart is overflowing with gratitude and hope. To each and every one of you, your presence in my life has been a gift of immeasurable value. I leave you with a sense of immense pride and a shared journey and an unshakable faith in the enduring spirit of our Navy. The lessons learned, the bonds formed, and the challenges overcome have not only shaped my past, but will illuminate my path forward. As we look to the future, let's carry with us the enduring legacy of service, the unwavering commitment to excellence, and the bonds of camaraderie that define us. The future is bright, not just for me, but for all of us who have served and continue to serve. We are united by a common purpose and shared belief in the values that make our Navy and this nation great. Now, before I bid you all farewell, and I promise I'm almost done. Before I bid you all fair winds and following seas, there's a special moment I want to share. To my wonderful children, William and Mary, I love you both. William, I love you. Mary, I love you. But you know what? Up to this point, this whole journey has been about me, right? This whole day has been about me. But you know what now is going to be about? We're going to make something about you guys. So, for the last 21 years, the United States Navy has told me where I was going to go. They told your mom in the Coast Guard where she's going to go. But no one's ever really asked you guys what you want to do. So I think I got something for you. So I want you both to come up here and have a seat on the podium here, please. Because I want you guys to tell me what we're going to do next. So I got a couple shipmates over here. Have a seat. Just have a seat right here. In the front. I got some shipmates. So shipmates, bring out some gifts. I got some gifts for my kids. And guys, in this box, it's going to tell us what we're going to do next. In fact, it's what we're going to do tomorrow morning. All right? So why don't you guys take these boxes and open them up, and let's see what we're going to do next. And tell everybody where we're going to go.
Did they get them all?
Go ahead. Open the box. Just take the box. Where are we going? We're going to Disney World. What do you guys think? You want to go to Disney World tomorrow? Do you want to go spend a week there?
For the first time.
You don't want it on?
Very true. Look over
There we go. All right, you don't want to wear it? That's fine. All right, where's that MC at? Let's get a picture over here. Here, turn around. Let's get a picture. Here, we'll just hold it here. Turn around.
Smile. Yay!
All right, put it right there. Go have a seat with Bobby. So William and Mary. That's right. I just retired from the Navy and we're heading to Disney World. Like a Super Bowl victory, we're celebrating this milestone with magic and joy. To everyone here, thank you for being a part of this journey. This is a new beginning filled with enchantment and excitement. And so, with hearts full of adventure and eyes set to new horizons, including Disney World, I look forward to seeing the heights that we will all reach together. Thank you all very much. Hey, guess what? Hey, Haley's going with us.
Yay!
Oh yeah, we got fast pass.
Can you hold it?
I can't wait that you're going with us.
I know.
Wow.
Hey, I didn't know you were also going with us.
I am.
Put my teeth in.
Wow, I've heard some retirement speeches. That was epic. That was heartfelt and real. Thank you. That was beautiful. There you go. There you go. Okay, so flag honor guard. Post. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony you're about to witness is a tribute to our nation's most revered symbol of freedom. The Stars and Stripes in a ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony you're about to witness is a tribute to our nation's most revered symbol of freedom, the Stars and Stripes. In a ceremonial act, the flag will be passed through the ranks of the honor guard each representing various ranks achieved and honorably bestowed upon by ABH2 Little during his service in both the U.S. Navy and the Coast Guard. The flags being presented today were flown aboard USS Ronald Reagan, where ABH2 Little proudly served as a plank owner. I'm now pleased to introduce ABHCS retired Jorge Ramirez, who will present Old Glory.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. While I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved. And I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Tara, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, and the scores of places long forgotten by all, except by those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on the small hill of Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me, and I was proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th, as cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters, heroes who risked their lives to save others, showing all of that America, although bloody, will never be beaten. Those who would destroy me cannot win, for I am a symbol of freedom, of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. And when it is by those whom I have served with in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped through the surely bounds of earth. And from my vantage point of the moon, I stand watch under the uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hours comes when I am torn in strips, to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades in the field of battle, when I fly half-mast to honor my sailors, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the gravesite of her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, may I wave.
Flag on board the USS Ronald Reagan. That's your mom, all right?
It's going to go in your shadow box when we get home. It's going to be okay. Just hold on to it. Bluest ship on board the ship that I met your mom on, okay? You're just excited to go to Disney World, aren't you?
I am now honored to introduce the Honorable Kentucky Colonel Barry Sanders, who will deliver the Kentucky Colonel's Toast on behalf of the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. Colonel Sanders.
As I sat there and listened to all these tall tales about Mike, I'm not going to tell you. Okay. I remember it well. The first day that Mike Little rolled into Camp Boise, Manchester. Do you remember that?
I remember.
In your little sweater vest. And I look at him and I go, oh my God. What are we ever going to do with this kid all summer? And the irony is we never did ever not be around each other. For how long now? I don't even know.
I don't know, Dad, when I was 15, you took me up there and dropped me off in a cabin. Yeah, so it's been a long time. I'm 40.
Yeah. And we were talking about that the other day, and it's amazing. I don't know if you all know this about Mike, but Mike is a lot of things that Mike and I have in common. One of them is not the Navy, but we're sailors.
Yes, we are.
We enjoy scouting, and we enjoy swapping lies.
You're better at it than I am.
It's fine. I would now like to invite any and all of my fellow Kentucky Colonels in the room to please stand as we present a toast. I knew there would be at least 3. You stand. You've retired and now you can't take over. I give you a man dedicated to the good things in life, to the gentle, the heartfelt things, to good living, and to the kindly rights for which it is surrounded. In all the clash of pageant worlds, he holds firm to his ideal, the gracious existence in that country of content, where slower clocks strike happier hours. He stands in spirit in a tall column veranda, a hospitable glass in his hand, and he looks over good and fertile earth, over ripening fields, over meadows of rippling bluegrass. The rounded note of the horn floats through the fragrant stillness. Afar, the sleek and shining flanks of a thoroughbred catch the bright sun. The broad door open wide and welcome, the slow, soft-spoken word, the familiar step of friendship, all of this is life, and it is good. He brings fair judgment to sterner things. He is proud in the traditions of this country in ways that are settled and true. In a trying world darkened by hate and misunderstanding, he is a symbol of those virtues in which men and women find gallant faith, and of good men and women might distill from life. Here he stands, then, in the finest sense, an epicure, a patriot, a man. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Petty Officer Second Class Michael Joseph Little, the Kentucky Colonel. Please join me in 3 cheers for Colonel Litter. I got through the whole thing without stammering until there. Colonel Little, this is for you. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Bam. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Colonel Sanders. I would now like to introduce Command Master Chief Jessica Morales, who will now read the watch. Bosun, stand by, pipe aside. That would be the side boys going over to the road.
I picked some really good side boys, I'll tell you.
For 18 years, this aviation boatswain's mate handler has stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this flight deck director stood the watch. While some of us were in school learning our trade, this flight deck fly petty officer stood the watch. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this flight deck launch officer stood the watch. In those years, when the storm clouds of war were seen growing in the horizon of history, this sergeant of the guard stood the watch. Many times, this guard force commander would cast an eye ashore and see his family standing there, needing his guidance and help, needing that hand to hold during those hard times. But this battle captain still stood the watch. The second-class petty officer stood the watch for 18 years. This honorary chief petty officer stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly and safety each and every night. Knowing that a sailor, this honorary chief warrant officer, stood the watch. Today, we are here to say, battle buddy, the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have trained, guided, and led. Shipmate, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
I kindly request all guests to please rise for the departure honors. ABH2 Little and Lieutenant Martinez, please step forward. Military guests, please come. Lieutenant David Watts will now deliver the benediction, and then we'll do the Fleet Reserve Certificate as the last one.
Now may Christ, the Son of Righteousness, scatter the darkness from before your path. May the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, bless you and keep you this day forth and forevermore. Amen.
Amen. I will now read the Fleet Reserve Certificate. This is to certify Michael Joseph Little, an aviation boatswain's mate's handler, second-class petty officer, was transferred from active duty to the Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy on this 12th day of November 2015, after 13 years of service. This certificate is awarded as a testament of faithful and honorable service. Signed, Rodney Moss, Captain, Senior Aviation Boatswain's Mate. Yep, time to get going there, shipmate.
Lieutenant Martinez, request permission to go ashore.
Mission granted. Well done.
Petty Officer Second Class, United States Navy retired, departing. In keeping with tradition, at the close of a retirement ceremony, we honor the family for their vital support throughout their husband's and father's career. It is a custom to pipe the family ashore as a symbol of gratitude for their contributions. Chief Warrant Officer 2 Longstreet, please escort Chief Little and William and Mary to join their retired sailor at the front of the carpet. This marks the return home of the sailor who has faithfully served our country for the past 18 years. We also invite all Chief Petty Officers to assemble at the end of the side boys to extend
Don't
your...
worry about that. There's not a lot of room.
Check. Disregards. Stay where you're at. Navy family departing. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we conclude today's ceremony. Michael and his family extend their heartfelt thanks to each of you.